Seneko doesn't really mind what he's doing right now, just because the Phoenix Egg isn't going to determine too much in the early game. Plus, they're going to eventually rotate him to be the hero that soaks up the solo XP, and that's where you want your Venge to be the hero rotating around.
That's when the Slardar or the Beastmaster goes into jungle, or the Slardar rotates out of lane, right? That's when Phoenix covers that.
Arstyle, his first movement in for a fight. He's going to get avalanche tossed. Arstyle very, very low. That last attack is just going to be enough from Hanskin to reach it with the Timber Chain. Hanskin, the aggro coming out from the Ancient. A little bit of trouble for him. Seneko also dropping down low with that toss forward. Then he body blocks Seneko unwillingly. So it ends up being a 2-for-1 trade-off in favor of Complexity.
That was very good for Cole. They get their Tidehunter involved. It's the classic trap of there's nobody in this lane, I might as well do something. But it's something that you have to coach yourself out of as an offlaner, because it looks tempting. And in the old offlane, you could get away with something like that, but nowadays, everybody is so on point.
Magic Missile's going to stun him up here. Denny right behind him, but doesn't really give a good Timber Chain option. And that means Denny cannot inflict the last point of damage, and even with the help of Z-Freak, Seneko dropping down very, very low with the toss as well. He can't Icarus dive away. And Limp able to claim himself another kill.
That was sick. That was really well done by Limp. He doesn't panic, and most of the time you're going to level the Whirling Death against melees.
We saw that, did you see the builds earlier from Timber Chain? Maxed out at Timber Chain, and
there's another avalanche toss. He can't chain up. He actually misses all the trees.
Yeah. Okay. This is what we were talking about, is the tiny, just the burst damage potential that he has. He doesn't really care about the reactive armor. The rest of the lanes are going fine. They might pick up a kill on the
yeah, Jeff is definitely dead. Thought he could challenge General, but turns out the late extra hero's there.
Technically, Z-Freak's able to pick it off, so he'll sacrifice himself. Very far expended. Arstyle's still a little bit far behind him, but with the movement speed, okay, maybe that's going to be taken away by Z-Freak. Magic Missiles off cooldown, but Z-Freak makes it to the Fog of War, away from Arstyle, away from the Beastmaster Boar. The Boar's actually allowing him to dive in with the Wave of Terror. They got a little bit of vision, and they're stunned, but it's not enough damage. He goes down to 11, and now Limp looking for a kill. He's chasing him up for Arstyle. Snake's going to turn on the Sunray. He'll find himself a kill, and then straight TP out, while Limp's still hunting for Arstyle, will not find him. They get away with this kill.
That's Phoenix hero.
He just gets the Sunray, and the funny thing, slowed down by the glyph. They're doing this, the 5-man push.
NAVI should def this.
You think so?
Yeah, there's no way that they should give up this tower. It's the most important tower in the game right now. It slows down your smoke so much. If Complexity were to go for a smoke, then they almost always have to take this long path around the map, and it's hard for NAVI to really match that.
Right.
You defend this mid tower at all costs. It's 865 HP. It's the most important tier 1 tower in the game.
They didn't even have to fully defend it. Like, Diddy Ra was able to add enough pressure to the tier 1 tower. Top lane, Complexity rotated 2 heroes up to try and cut him off for the rotation, but Diddy Ra, quick TP to the tier 1 tower. Joins up with the rest of his team, starts beating into that tier 1. And where are you going to come in? Limp at least has a small surprise sitting inside of him. That's going to be the live stealer. They look over to Diddy Ra, avalanche top. It goes to Arthur. He'll get it and now with Icarus dive into the Nova, you burn the Aegis and water over on the Slardar, but it's Complexity have enough to keep fighting. With a toss up deep creep, really hits the creep wave with an Necro Fox, who keeps the chase going, but it's General up near the ancient area, been battling up against 3. There's no one to really help out here. The tier 1 tower is still taken. Chessie will take out a double kill.
That was so well done by Limp. He throws his CM back to make sure she doesn't get hit by the egg, and throws her into the creep wave. Then he...
As long as they keep getting pickoffs.
Well, they're going to try to 5-man smoke with the Infest into Limp, so again, Still a piggybacking on the back of the Tiny. They look for an opening, but they don't have vision. With Hanskin's Observer while they see Dendy moving to the tier 1 tower. The Radiant stands well, they find Arstyle. And Arstyle, okay, it's like General was sitting there waiting for the swap. But it's not going to happen, so they pick up the VS for a 5-man smoke maneuver.
You notice too that they smoked to where they had vision. You always smoke to where you have vision. They saw with this ward that the Venge was there. They know that reasonably there's going to be no one for the rebuttal, and so you immediately get over there. Even killing a Vengeful Spirit at this point is enough.
The downside of that is, while the Vengeful Spirit is enough for to make the gank okay, their silos being pushed in means they don't get any objectives in return. That's some of the power that the fact that Navi keep themselves really well spread out is that Complexity go for a 5-man smoke like that. They get a hero making it 4 versus 5, but they can't immediately challenge further because they have to deal with it. That's getting hit perfectly with the Chain Frost. Hanskin just trying to ensure there's enough damage to kill that Timbersaw off before he's able to suicide.
Okay, so what NAVI should do right now, Bloodstone Timbersaw, he's going to come back up, run at them, take that bottom tower at all costs.
So they're smoking, so they got the extra movement speed to try and catch up, but with the drum charge from Z-Freak, Complexity also with the movement speed. Back underneath the tier 2 tower, they rotate up. You almost have to go for a blind blink. Chessie actually stopping to fire off the round around the corner. He gets the crush on Chessie. The swamp actually pulling T-Ra out of the fight, but he does start with the more trouble here. I don't know if that was really the intended target. With the Icarus dive forward, a very defensive Supernova.
Yeah, he saw Limp and he got scared that they were actually going to be turned around on. This is Tiny who could burst people down, but I think that they just now go for objectives themselves, and I'm not sure if Complexity will be able to fight back as this game goes later too.
Well, the only objectives really left is the other tier 2 towers, mid and top. If you want to try and push these in, Swindles is standing on the front lines, trying to slow it down. Star's now going to make his way forward as well with that level 2 swap. The range is something that really should be respected at this point.
They're showing the CM at top. They're trying to get somebody to come back.
Yeah, they got him. Well, it's going to be Didira.
Goodbye, Z-Freak.
Can Didira actually chase him down the hallway? Z-Freak makes a break for the trees. Didira, okay, he's going to get the rush. The Sunrays coming in as well, so Z-Freak did his job.
He knows it. He's like, my life for the tier 2.
He actually managed to pick up his blink dagger just before he died too, so there was no money lost for a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, it's actually...
She still has more net worth than the VS. But Askin gonna move that a little bit here with the team with chain forward. The list just gets disintegrated. Lives BKB will protect him for now, but Arstar's still here. Remember, they can swap him back if they want to, which is exactly what they do. Now looking over to Limp. Arstar, where's that stun? Chessie raised up. He's got no real target to go for, so he just throws it at Swindle. When the jump comes in, she just really again with the timber chain forward. Swindle and Chessie being controlled up to Didira. Looking for any kind of bash amplification. They need more damage to come. The Vortex of 3 heroes. Swindles, they're splitting up the target. Now NAVI, Didira's being over. The but there's no matter for a crush. Blinks forward and allows Tendi to do the work underneath the tier 3 tower. Complexity lose 4 for the cost of a VS.
Well, do you think he ever should have expended Ravage thanks to the Boots of Travel? This is making things very much a nightmare for Complexity, where they've got this fight, man. They want to take the fight sometimes, but they just can't because they're always threatened on the side. Even now, Zardar's doing it, and he just has like the physical damage aspect of it.
I'd really like to see... I think I'd still want to see a blink dagger on the Swindles, because most of the time that Force Staff's going to be used for his teammates, and he still needs to be in a good position to get the Ravage off, especially against a Phoenix and a Timbersaw. Like, if he can get those 2 heroes before they can get going, especially Phoenix.
Yeah. And Complexity are definitely, they're down right now. They need that sort of like amazing Ravage to get them back into the game, and you're not unlikely to get it, let's say, with just a Force Staff. You need the full blink surprise initiation.
Yeah. I think Cole are just kind of tired of this right
now. Navi's ready to fight. Complexity Swindles on the front line. The Ravage almost hitting him. All over Navi to crush him. Zero will finally take care of it. The Dandy still alive and kicking with that chakra. It's been he actually has to retreat back to the tier 2 tower. The Chakram will fly with him. Taneko also sitting on the side, the last 2 surviving members of NAVI, but the oldies hit so...
right now is just to get outside your base, smoke up, get ward vision down if you can, check for Roshan, and pick up a kill if you can, and camp that area.
I think they need a gem as well.
And they just drew a line to go directly to Roshan on the back of this 5-man smoke.
Do they have a ward? Yes, they do.
They've got one on the lane.
That's all you need at this point.
Well, they find General. General is currently AFK.
Oh, no!
Hanskin!
Force Staff him forward.
He didn't attack. General's still on the run. He can't blink for 6 more seconds, but they've run the wrong direction. He's going to run over to the Observer Ward, and now they see where he went. They caught a glimpse of Arthur for a moment, and General hawks up, makes a break for the trees. Blinks up full, and General again starts moving, and this means the Limb will at least find the kill. He'll trigger up the Necro Book, so that just becomes money for Complexity.
Yeah, he was so confident that he had broke free from that.
But meanwhile on bot lane, Dendi is forcing it in. Up on top lane, you got Didira and Sadeko who are reaching the tier 2 tower. So even if Roshan was up, which he's not for 30 more seconds, like, you're not going to get an opening. And Swindles is currently dying to Sunray.
Oh, but they might have Dendi here to the freezing deal. Gets dropped and forced out that suicide.
This is just uncharacteristically sloppy.
Didira's coming down to that bottom lane, chasing up after Chessie. Arstar's right behind him, but Didira, okay, he's going to break off. There's a lot more support coming from Z-Freak and Limp.
So yeah, they do when you're contesting Roshan Pit is oftentimes to push mid in, and that's the opposite of what Dire side do when they push out top. You as the Radiant side try and push mid in, and you cut the jump off of their base.
Back. Down for a minute, but he does have buyback available. The TP's coming in from NAVI. They need to defend their base with an Aghanim Scepter on limb. It won't take long for Complexity to rip through this tier 3 tower, but where's your initiation? General jumping forward. He's got raw, but they want to go on limb. The BKB triggers that over to your right. The Rabbit will fall off. But when the shot comes down, then he's got enough damage. Nefri can win the launch. We go with Dira. The physical damage is too much. The Icarus side forward, fighting Highschool over in the tree line. Again, this damage is just so brutal. The infest into the dark side summoner. Now it won't live for long, but Jesse tries to trap on Dira. The vertical there. He can't actually see himself out. It was the only thing that would have stopped it. And it's a team wipe in favor of NAVI. A triple kill for Dendi. And the choice, do they go down to the bottom lane? There's only 2 buybacks available for Complexity. Or do you finish Roshan now?
Allow any of the dire wards to stay up at all. It just becomes so hard for you to fight around that area.
Hostile, there's just swap. He goes on limb, but Limb very quick over on the blink. Able to get himself back inside. Radiant base, Swindle jumps out, gets around with Hostile dropping down low. Do you run to get the sun, keeping Chesney away, but not for long. He's able to bring down the capital of NAVI, and now Swindle's still low. The sun is kicking out, and they can already come up with a supernova. But Candy comes back into the fight, get themselves a double kill. Blink fighting strong, but you got Hager Simon and plus Cheese. Hager's gonna burn. She's still available, but then he's gonna be keeping none of them. Maybe give up, but he gets it off. There with the chakram, but none with the crush of Dira, and a triple kill for Chesney. Chesney's gonna try and man fight through all of this. Dira's ready to go again. 3 seconds till Blink taking back the cooldown. The double chakram's forward, but they fight back on the plane. Chesney, so down. The rolling death is there from Dendi. An ultra kill for him. He's staring down Zefring. The chakram, the second one's able to reach. The first one, however, does not, so there's not enough damage to kill off that Crystal Maiden. And NAVI,
And they lose their defense of the high ground.
they've got the biggest ultimate of all, man. Z-Freak has now got more net worth than Swindle Melons. And he's picking up an Aghanim Scepter on the Crystal Maiden.
BKB Ag CM, as long as she doesn't get bashed, she can kind of do a lot of damage.
See, this is the true 3 position of Complexity. Right, here we go. Now they jump in. The double kill, they do it. There goes the ultimate. And then he's going to get roared up. Actually get out. He's going to timber chain himself out. Chesney is locked in with Diddy-Ra. Liv looking to do the damage, but Diddy-Ra can finally open up, toss out, and outside of the base. So it's still only Swindles to step, but then he's entering in. Chesney has to arm the toggle. Denny in a little bit too deep now. Can't find him. Perfect chain out, but Arsal's dropping into the swamp, the real carry. Z-Freak right underneath NAVI. He'll get timber chained to death. And they just beat through the base.
Aghanim Scepter drops.
Yeah, what the hell is that? What is he talking about? Either way, it's not gonna keep. In they go. Shiva's gonna try and stop this chase down. The cross should be there on Limb. The ball's not buying him for space and it's too far. Also getting stunned up, but it's not enough. That's 100 seconds without your tiny. And now he's going for the GG push. The tier 4 towers are the ones that are exposed. Or do they actually finish it up properly? They're gonna go in for Mega and wait for Complexity to come out and try and find the double shot. Chesney battling against the Iran with Nova is down. Swindles can't take care of that one. General still trying to body block and keep him in range of the Supernova. It's not going to happen. The swamp's there. Arsenal sacrificing himself to make it work. With the sun rays, Swindles is burning at the moment as a Tide Hunter is a fish out of water. There is no escape. Maybe now. Can survive. No, he cannot. Douse that Firebird. He's gonna go down. NAVI's still trying to finish at the right. The buybacks from Swindles. They are fighting until the last man. They want to make sure that NAVI know they're not gonna get this game one of this best of 3 easy. Well, I say that. General's now here with an Aghanim Scepter. We're ready to go for the roll. The implications on Chesney and Denny. He's already back to full life. There's the roll on Chesney. The double shark drops. The left shoulder gonna bounce around Chesney. He's gonna toggle. Gonna leave the line. He runs up and man fights it. He gets the top of Chesney, but is it gonna be enough? Oh, it's not. Dira's actually gonna go down. Now General isolated by Z-Freak. They're gonna need some big faster as well. NAVI, they got 4 heroes on the sideline. At least 2 of them have buyback. And they have both the mid and the bottom racks and tier 4 towers dropping. There's still a lot of stuff going on.
They still have the buyback available on a lot of their heroes.
NAVI's coming to the pit, but they're way too late. Roshan already belongs to Complexity. They got Cheese on the ground, they give it to Swindles. He drops his TP scroll as they find an opening as Chesney moving forward. And then he just trying to chain himself away to swamp. Wow, that pulls Chesney in deep. The rage gonna wear off. They're moving over. Where's that roar from General? There it is with the Necrobook. Chesney would have a lot of mana to work with, and in fact, no life. 88 seconds on the sideline by McConnell. Hanskin locked down by that Nova. And in fact, Mako will come back to finish the job. He actually blades him down. He bought it and killed him instantly. Style points here in Swindles. Oh, he's in trouble too. It looks like Complexity. They're losing everything. They're trying to buy it back, but money won't buy you love right now. NAVI take game number 1 on this best-of-3 series and complexity. They're the easier part. NAVI had to fight hard this morning, and now they're having to fight deep into the night here in Frankfurt. But they still take game 1 in 51 minutes.
Yep, just one game away now for NAVI to make it into the playoffs here for Sunday. Exciting stuff. I really like the way they played this, particularly the latter half. Like, it was really slow. The